Shalom, shalom, shalom. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rahachadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, leadership of Great Millstone, peace and salutations to the house of David, to the 144,000, and to the men, women, and children scattered throughout the four corners of the earth of the hopeful elect. To you, I say shalom. Again, whenever we see this disclaimer, we know that we're going to run a video. This video is under fair use, copyright disclaimer, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act in 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All rights and credits go directly to its rightful owners. No copyright infringement intended. With that being said, let's get right into it. So, we are going to begin. For us, we like to try to go full circle. And full circle for us is the beginning. What is the beginning? Well, this is Proverbs 9, beginning in verse 9. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. So, with that being said, man, the heavens are becoming crowded, and as the heavens become more and more crowded, then somebody's got to go. Somebody got to get out. You know what I mean? It ain't big enough. Or they say this town ain't big enough for the two of us. You know what I mean? Hey, and the heavens ain't big enough for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the dragon. So somebody got to go, and it ain't going to be Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It says Revelations 12:7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. So as we get into this, we're going to see that the heaven is becoming crowded. So this is TechMap. It says 100 times bigger new mystery object just arriving and aiming straight to 3-1 Atlas. The data is terrifying. So let's get into it. We're going to pause and get some scripts out of it, and then we'll keep it pushing.
Atlas, the more we find ourselves trapped in an endless cosmic maze. Humanity's sharpest eyes have already locked onto this interstellar visitor, as if that alone wasn't enough. Yet, just when the story seemed overwhelming, the sudden arrival of C-2025-R2 has made the unfolding drama feel more intense, more suffocating than ever before. On September 11th, 2025, the SWAN instrument aboard the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, SOHO, spacecraft detected the presence of a new comet. Officially designated CEAS 2025-R2 and initially nicknamed SWAN R2, it had actually been within 30 degrees of the Sun from August 8th to September 13th, 2025. Yet, because of its extreme proximity to the Sun, most telescopes were unable to observe it. Calculations suggest it will reach perihelion in October 2025. passing at a distance of about 75 million kilometers from the Sun. What impressed astronomers the most was its striking appearance, a tail stretching 2.5 degrees across the sky, completely dwarfing the tiny one recently formed by 3I Atlas. By brightness and size alone, Swan R2 appeared more than 100 times greater, hurtling straight toward the Sun. As
I, I got to take it from the words of Albert Malcolm, a son of a, these damn devils in their commercials. But it is what it is. This is Zechariah 6:1, and it reads, "And I turned and lift up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass." So, hey, and we'll get to that as well. But we know what Ezra saw, you know, and basically what we believe that we're witnessing are those mountains approaching. You know what I mean? Earth. You know, let's keep looking at this stuff.
As it drew closer, Swan R2 erupted with blinding brilliance, glowing in shades of white and green. Surrounding it was not the usual cloud of icy debris, but rather a massive silver plasma shield, a living electromagnetic barrier strong enough to bend solar wind and deflect radiation. Its emissions were equally bizarre: plasma nickel, dense iron, carbon dioxide, and carbon monoxide, a chemical footprint that seemed almost artificial. Most astonishing of all, its core was measured to generate 10,000 gigawatts per second, 1,000 times more than 3I Atlas. And the greatest shock? NASA confirmed Swan R2 follows a strict orbital cycle, returning to Earth's neighborhood once every 22,554 years. Its sudden arrival, just as 3I Atlas was accelerating toward the Sun, seemed far.
And as we, watch these, we always have to take into consideration Esau wants to control the narrative. He wants to declare, his time frame as the time frames of understanding. But we know that Esau is basically pseudo. You know, he surmises, he guesses, you know what I mean. Yeah, what we see, and what we hear, you take with the grain of salt, because no, you don't know what the hell happened 22,000 years ago. You see the level of this devil's ignorance to think that you would take into consideration that he telling you this comet was here 22,200 and something years ago. Oh, yeah. There's a reason why it says the data is terrifying, because Esau knows this ain't no comet.
Are too coincidental. In his latest paper, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb posed a daring question: could the two objects share the same origin? Yet orbital analysis by expert Peter Veras ruled that out. Swan R2 emerged from the direction of Aquarius, while 3I Atlas came from Sagittarius, 2 points separated by tens of degrees in the sky. So why did they converge toward the Sun at nearly the same time? This has sparked dramatic speculation. Perhaps Swan R2 and 3I Atlas are not independent wanderers at all, but two parts of a far larger design: a mothership and a probe. Smaller and weaker, 3I Atlas could easily be a reconnaissance craft launched by the vast system that is Swan R2. Its perfectly timed 22,500-year cycle makes it feel less like coincidence and more like an intentional schedule. If so, its solar passage may not be a random orbit, but rather a kind of maintenance cycle. drawing in superheated plasma as fuel, recalibrating vast hidden sensor networks around the planets, or exchanging data with secret relay stations buried deep within the asteroid belt. And when comparing the energy outputs, the mystery deepens. Swan R2's core releases power thousands of times greater than 3I Atlas, a figure that defies every natural law we know. Perhaps Swan R2 and 3I Atlas are not just celestial phenomena for us to observe. They may be signals, messages written.
And hey, this devil is terrified because he actually knows the truth. You know what I mean? He knows what's coming. This is Second Ezra 13. We'll start at 1, and it reads, "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth failed when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there were gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea." And we know that, the space outside the earth is also called the sea, the waters. So, it's not referring to the oceans that are on the planet itself, But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So the vessel that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that Yahweh Shai will be traveling upon, is going to be, man, enormous, if I could use a word to describe it. As Ezra said, hey, it was so big he couldn't see where it began, where it ended. Yahweh Shai said when he's not going to meet you as a man. He's going to meet you devils as an angelic force. It says, "But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight." So, hey, Yahweh Bashem outside is going to put the spirit on these devils. They're going to be terrified. Like it says, the data is terrifying, but they're going to get it in. They're not going to get it in. They're going to get it on, and then they're going to get themselves obliterated. You know what I mean? It says, "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid." So, hey, there's a reason why this devil is feeling what he's feeling right now, because he understands that what he's dealing with is far greater than him,
Across the stars,
and that what he has feared is finally coming to pass.
Humanity that we are not alone in this universe. Strange overlapping signals kept hinting that 3I Atlas might be bending the solar wind itself. Just when
they asked me, and I'm going to share the recipe I used to lose 24 pounds. Okay, first, you're going to take...
First, we're going to get away from your big
Atlas seemed to be fading back into normality. Its bizarre coma structures, unpredictable orbit, and unusual chemistry dismissed as rare coincidences. A shocking twist arrived. 3 separate solar observatories picked up perfectly synchronized anomalies, raising the possibility that Atlas might be anything but natural. At 0803 UTC on August 18th, SOHO detected a strange bow-shaped structure forming in the solar wind just downstream of Atlas's orbit. 2 minutes later, Parker's solar probe recorded a sudden, powerful spike in local magnetic intensity, accompanied by an abnormal gradient unlike anything in its baseline. Finally, at 8:11 UTC, MAVEN observed a deflection in high-energy particles. The coordinates it logged matched Atlas's trajectory down to the decimal point. For years, these missions have quietly monitored the sun from vantage points scattered across the solar system. The odds of all 3 randomly recording the same event, at the same location, at the same time, are practically zero. Coincidence no longer holds weight. The discovery triggered an emergency meeting at NASA, uniting mission leads from SOHO, Parker, MAVEN, along with JPL's data directors. All possibilities of instrument error were ruled out. The data was real. The very idea that a cosmic rock could pierce, or even resist, the crushing force.
You know, and you know, you can you can see where this is at. You can see the everything in the description here. So if you want to watch this whole video, you can, because Esau always in a desperate attempt to control the narrative, to control what it is that you think and you feel, and how it is you look at these things. He's going to continue to do what he's doing. You know what I mean? And it may very well be, but either way, we know that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is beginning to make his presence known. And we know that, the celestial beings travel in vehicles, chariots, interstellar vehicles, and things such as this. Rocks don't change their own trajectory. Rocks don't, increase and decrease. Rocks don't, part the solar waves and things of that nature. Vehicles of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And these are things that are both faith builders and, fear increasers. To the wicked, it increases your fear. To the hopeful elect, it increases our faith, increases our hope, increases our joy. You know what I mean? That that our Savior, that our rescue, that which we have waited on will soon arrive. So I'm not going to make it a long one. This is just, I wanted to bring that forth, let everyone see, and I'm sure many other brothers have seen this video and are making theirs as well, because the power and the might of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to be made manifest very soon. Very soon. So full circle, this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, and it reads, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter." So we begin through the fear, and the conclusion is through the fear of the Most High, and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. And we understand that this is written to the Israelite man. It's not written to the whole world. You'll have your opportunity to understand that fear. It says, "For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil." So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory once again to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahah Kodash, and double honors to my apostles and elders, bishops, men of great millstone. Peace and salutations to the house of David, to the 144,000, and to the men, women, and children scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, of the elect, of the hopeful elect. To you I say, Shalom.